Hey, how's it going, everybody? Micah Lamar here from Wall Street IO, and I got a quick little update here on Apple for you. The stock is absolutely ripping to the upside. So I want to let you know how I'm trading the stock and what I used for that setup. I also wanted to let you know that this last weekend we hosted a really great webinar all around our 3-point checklist for trading Apple. So as I'm kind of walking you through how I'm trading Apple right now and catching this amazing up move, I'm going to kind of go over my 3-point checklist for you in case you missed the 1 hour presentation. Let's see if we can wrap everything up into a quick little 4 or 5 minute review for you. So if you're busy, you're really going to like this video. Okay. So first off, Apple's in a nice little uptrend. You can see that here, right? So we got a nice little uptrend going for us. We've been making new highs on the daily for the last couple days, kind of breaking out. Now, I have been holding 155 as my over-under area. The next one was 158 because this was the shelf that we dropped off here. And you can see all last week we kind of compressed below 158. Now, on Monday, yesterday, we had a gap above resistance and it ran like crazy, and now it's continuing to run a little bit more today. Okay, so we're looking at highs potentially a couple dollars higher. If we can get over 161, I think we have room to go at least a few more dollars higher. Okay, I'm also watching seasonality really, really closely, okay, because when you look at seasonality over the last 10 years for Apple, check this out. October is generally a pretty good month for the stock, and this is over the last 10 years. In fact, when we go to a 5-year seasonality, check this out. October is one of the best months of the year. November is still pretty good, and then December usually we start to slide a little bit, but we're still into October, right? We got a couple weeks left of October. So I've been using seasonality a lot, and I'm going to kind of explain how I do it right now. Okay, so my 3-point checklist for trading apples. The first thing I like to use are Heikin-Ashi charts, and I use them to identify what I consider to be payday cycles. A payday cycle is a 4 to 8 day directional trend in a stock. So for an example, this is a bullish payday cycle. Okay, we're currently in a bullish payday cycle. Right? These charts make it really, really, really easy to identify and visually see the directionality short term of a stock. So right here's a bearish payday cycle, for example. Okay, so I like to trade these payday cycles. I like to trade them a lot because they give me a huge directional edge. And whenever we have a bearish payday cycle, and then we have our first green bar, and on the second one, if we start trading above it, then that's usually a pretty good buy signal for the stock for Apple. Okay. Now, what I realized though is occasionally we have these things called false starts or pump fakes. So I needed a way to eliminate some of these pump fakes. And so what I did is I created a secondary rule that helps me identify higher probability trades and helps me eliminate some of those pump fakes. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the MACD for that. So check this out. Okay. The MACD is a really great indicator for Apple. This is just your default settings. And so in Wall Street IO, the platform that I run, we have the ability to backtest a lot of stuff. Okay, so we have the ability to backtest how profitable the MACD was over the last 3 years, how profitable was, you could backtest stochastics, ADX, MACD. You could backtest any moving average crossover you want. So if you're trading the 8 EMA above, 8 EMA above the 21 EMA, or whatever it is specifically that you're trading from a moving average crossover, guess what? You could backtest it. You can know exactly how profitable it is on any ticker in our 8,000 stock database, stocks and ETFs. So you can backtest it. So what we've done is we've backtested the MACD with payday cycles. And what we found is really incredible, because what we found is when the MACD is crossed to the bulls like it was here, right, and like it is now, right, and we're getting this big run, and like it was back here, right, and so on and so on. When the MACDs cross to the bulls, like I have highlighted here, these bullish payday cycles are longer. Okay, so when the MACDs cross to the bulls, the payday cycles to the upside are longer. And when the MACDs cross to the bears, like it was here and trending down, the payday cycles to the upside are shorter. We're more likely to get a pump fake. Right, and we have all the data to back that up, and so it really helps us eliminate those pump fakes. Right here, the MACD was crossed the bears, we had a pump fake. And you can see the payday cycles to the downside were longer. Right, so you're probably going to be more successful shorting Apple when the MACD is crossed to the bears and bearish like that. Okay, so again, Payday Cycles was step 1 in the checklist. It helps us visually see short-term trend, and we have those charts right here on Wall Street AO. They're called Heikin-Ashi charts. We have them labeled here as Payday Cycles. Remember, a Payday Cycle is a 4 to 8 day directional trend in a stock. Here's a bullish Payday Cycle, and here's a bearish Payday Cycle. And what we discovered through all of our tests is that the MACD for Apple says that when Apple's MACD is crossed to the bulls and trending up, we're likely to get long, nice, long, bullish Payday Cycles. So if you're going to take away one thing from today's video, is how to stay out of trouble. Don't buy Apple when the MACD is bearish. You're literally asking for trouble if you're doing that, and we have all the data to back it up. So there's a statistical and probability-wise disadvantage for you if you buy Apple when the MACD is bearish, right? That's what the data says. But if you buy it when the MACD is bullish, you have an edge, and that's what we want to trade. We want to trade the edge. So I bought Apple right in here at 153. I put about $30,000 into Apple, and I'm writing it right now, and it's an incredible move. But it's not like I just guessed, right? I used the data. I used my Payday Cycles, and I used the MACD crossing, and here's what else I used. I used seasonality. This is the third step in the checklist, because seasonality allows us to look forward in time and be prepared weeks and potentially months ahead of time. So seasonality was bad for June. This is 10 years, remember. Good for July, good for August, bad in September, and good for October. So guess what I was doing as we were heading into June? I was getting ready to short Apple and get out of my longs. At the end of June, I was buying Apple, getting ready for July. At the end of August, I was selling Apple, getting ready for September. At the end of September, I was buying Apple, getting ready for October, right? But I don't use seasonality in a vacuum. When it correlates with my MACD and my Payday Cycles, it's a no-brainer, right? So check this out. Remember, June was really, really bad in Apple from a seasonality perspective. The MACD had crossed to the bears before June even hit. And we know, right, from our data that says when the MACD is bearish, it's risky to be long. And the MACD crossed to the bears a week before June happened, and we already knew June was a bad month, okay? Now, at the end of June, we're like, okay, July's really good. Let's look for a MACD to cross in July, and sure enough, we got one up. Great MACD cross right in the beginning of July, and look at this beautiful Payday Cycle we caught for July. Okay. Now, August was pretty good. We had a good month. And then September is really bad from a seasonal perspective, right? You can see that here it's usually down from a seasonality perspective. So guess what we were ready to do at the end of August, getting ready for September? We were ready for a down move. Okay. And sure enough, we got one. We got bearish Payday Cycles. We got a bearish move in the MACD. And then at the end of September, we're ready for a turnaround because October is usually pretty good. And guess what? We had it. We had a bullish Payday Cycle. We had a bullish cross in the MACD and a bullish move for October. So it's not like we're guessing. We're using data. We're using Payday Cycles. We're using the MACD. And we're using seasonality. Now, Wall Street AO has created an amazing platform here where we can not only backtest the MACD, but we can optimize it. Here's a great example of that, okay? So let me kind of zoom way in on our platform here. I'm going to erase all the drawings I just did. So here's the thing. Here's what our platform does. Whenever you load up an indicator, right? So let's say, let me kind of zoom out, sorry. Let's say you wanted to load up on a regular candlestick. You're like, okay, let's load up the MACD. So when I click MACD here under Smart Studies, our backtesting, it loads the MACD up on the chart, which is what you're normally used to. But what it also does when I turn the shading on is it shades for me exactly when I would have gotten in and out using the MACD. So I would have bought in here, I would have sold here, bought here, sold here, bought here. You can kind of see, and it shades for you on the chart. So it's a visual trade log. What it also gives you is this information over here. Let's put a 3-year time frame on this, and I'll walk you through this real quickly. This is important, okay, because this is going to help you set up your trades, okay? So over here, over the last 3 years, if you would have bought one share and sold it every time the MACD crossed, buy here, sell the share here, you would have made $72.41. That's pretty good. You would have had 13 wins and 10 losses. Not a bad batting average, right? But here's what makes the strategy work. Just using the MACD on its own. Your average win would have been 766 and your average loss would have been 272. The average win is multiples bigger than the average loss. Across here, you have a 10-year seasonality. That shows you how profitable the strategy was over the last 10 years. So you can see it was all green except for a small loss in 2013. That's pretty good. and then the average days. This is helpful for option traders. So you know before you get into the trade with the MACD about how long it generally lasts. That's going to help you know how long of an option to buy. Okay? And you know approximately how much it moves. It helps you plan for the trade. Okay? Now, with the MACD, there's 3 settings, 12, 26, 9. If I adjust these, my results change. Right? But how do I know what to adjust these to? Well, I can go through all these different possible combinations, which is about 28,000, or I could use a super processor that we created on Wall Street AO. We'll go through all 28,000 possible permutations and tell me what the best MACD settings are for Apple out of all 28,000 possible combinations. Okay, so we give our members access to the results of our super processor tests, and I can tell you that the best settings for Apple are 14, 31, and 10. It takes the average win up to $9 and the average loss down to $2.17. And look, it increased your net return by over 20, 25%. Okay, so whenever you optimize your indicator settings, you want your average win to go up and your average loss to go down. Let's look at this again. Okay, remember, average win $9, average loss $2.17. Here's the default one. Average win $7.66, average loss $2.72. So we increased our average win by a lot and decreased our average loss. That's what you want to do. So we optimized it, right? So Wall Street AO platform here is really cool because we can not only backtest all these indicators or any moving average crossover combination, but we could also optimize them. So if you wanted to know what the number 1 ADX settings are for Apple or the number 1 moving average crossover for Apple, we have all that information for you right here under leading strategies, our leading strategy board, which is really exciting. Okay, so that's our 3-point checklist: payday cycles, the MACD, and seasonality. Use it for Apple. It's absolutely crushing right now, and you can see my position. I got in at 153. It's now up at 160. I'm absolutely crushing with this Apple trade right now, which is really, really great, using the 3-point checklist. Okay, now I want to let everybody know that over the weekend I offered everybody an amazing deal. Normally, Wall Street AO, for everything I showed you just now, is $197 a month, but I gave a special promotion. I did $100 off, so it brought it down to only $97 a month, and that includes all of our backtesting, which is unlimited backtesting, access to our leading strategies, which is our number 1 optimized strategies. It gives you access to notifications. It gives you access to our community, which is 5 amazing coaches. We have access to our entire university, which we used to sell for $1,000 on its own, but now we include it in our membership, and also access to all of our live broadcasts throughout the week. So throughout the week, I host 2 swing trading meetups for our members, and we have a daily day trading show every morning, and then an income trading show every Thursday. So you also get access to that for only $97. You also get our live trade room, which is pretty cool. We have a ton of members crushing with our live trade room. Okay, and here's the deal. The discount stays with you as long as you're a member, so it's $97 and you get grandfathered in at this rate. Now, we had a few members, people email us and say, hey, I didn't get the link to sign up and I missed the deadline on Sunday. So what we're going to do is we're going to extend it out for a couple more days. I'm going to put the link right below this video. Okay, so if you want to come check us out, come and click the link. You're going to get the coupon $100 off. It'll stay with you as long as you're a member, and you're going to get unlimited backtesting with Smart Studies on our 8,000 stocks and ETFs. You're going to get our top 10, which are 10 stocks that trade really well, that include optimized strategies and daily notifications that tell you when these strategies start and stop. Okay? You're going to get my favorite 5 Apple strategies as well as notifications for them and all the platform stuff that we showed you today. It's an incredible deal. Okay, and the university and everything else. It's an incredible deal. Now, we can't give this away forever, so we're going to open it up just for the next couple days. So click the link right below this video, get the $100 off coupon, and join us here at Wall Street AO because we're making a lot of dough, and I want you to join us, and I want you to be safe out there. And, you know, if you're not making money or if you're a break-even trader, this is the perfect place for you. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this video. That's how I'm trading Apple right now using my 3-point checklist. Click the link right below this video and get your $100 off coupon and join our community at Wall Street AO so that you can validate and backtest and use optimized strategies and join our community. Okay, this is Micah Lamar signing off. I look forward to seeing you on the inside.